The digital world moves fast, but real growth comes from real conversations. This is e-Coffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Victor here, back with EcoCapsule with Experts, and today we're going to be talking about the future. We're going to be talking about things that right now are still not very much integrated into our lives and society, but as we always have been talking about AI, about how marketing will be in the future, we can actually start talking about how houses will be in the future. But instead of only talking about architecture or stuff like that, brought you today a business consultant that is helping several other companies make their dent into such a future, if we are around to see that happening. Katarina Dusinska is here with us, and I'm super glad to have her on board. Katarina, thank you and welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much. I'm so glad for this invitation. I'm great. And I'm
Awesome.
looking forward for this discussion.
Same. I actually very much like her background because one of our main conversations today will be about Eco and EcoCapsule, which is one of the brands that you're right now helping in regards to business consultancy and the things that you're operating right now. Why don't you run us through what is EcoCapsule? The naming by itself is already gives a good idea of what it is, but would love to hear it from your mouth instead.
Yeah, thank you very much. EcoCapsule, it's, I think, already quite a known brand in some parts of the world. It's an egg-shaped capsule house, capsule home, which is fully self-sufficient, sustainable, and you can basically put it anywhere in any plot and live in it the next day.
Even like by the self-sustainable part of it, does it have like solar roofs that generate electricity? Does it have like a water filter that takes from the rain?
Yeah, exactly.
That's so nice.
Exactly, these things. So basically all year round you could stay there, live there, produce your own energy, live in the beautiful nature, have your own water, have your own comfort in a way, because you can live sustainably also in the nature, but sometimes the comfort is compromised, and here it's not.
It is. That's true.
Yeah.
And what brought you to EcoCapsule? Like, was it them that reached back to you saying, Katarina, you're lovely, we wish to have you on board? Or was it something that you proactively went after?
Yeah, it was more the first case.
Okay.
I work as a consultant for various projects. Nowadays, most of them are the startup projects or in the early stage of the business. And I got approached from EcoCapsule, and I really like the product. I like the team. So they had interesting challenges, and we agreed on the cooperation.
Why don't you walk us through some of those challenges? Because right now, and we were actually discussing this a little bit before I clicked record, here in Portugal, and I'm only going to mention Portugal because it's the closest of what I can see and comprehend and give an opinion. We are here in the country with a lack of houses.
Yeah.
Very much so. You have actually a lot of built houses that are already ready to live, but they are abandoned. The owner doesn't want to refurbish it. So you have a lot of houses, but not a lot of available ones ready to go. And thus, whenever a company like yours comes around and gives an alternative to live in, it's already a very interesting topic. What were the problems, the business problems, the marketing problems that you encountered when you got into here? I think all of us should be talking about whenever we are discussing a market such as yours.
Yeah. Before answering this question, I would just make a slight introduction about the market.
Please,
or our
even
focus
better.
Markets that the company is focusing on, because there are two different ones. And the first one is the market of B2B business, which are the eco-resorts, glamping, or these kind of resorts for tourism. And the second market is B2C for general population. Mostly what we did, the market research is we discovered, and it was not only the discovery from the research, but something that you and everybody knows, that you mentioned there is not enough of available housing, but also there are many people who cannot afford any housing.
That is also true.
Especially young couples, young individuals. So it's very hard for them to find their own accommodation. If they don't want to rent it, for example, if they want to own a house, it's easier to find a plot where actually you cannot build a house or any building because it's not connected to infrastructure, or it's in the area that actually it's not permitted to do this bigger construction. So actually we decided to cover these two markets. And so we have also two different focuses. And the company by end of last year came with a new product, which is called EcoCapsule Box. It can be found on the website, and it's bigger. It's not the egg-shaped designed product. It's more boxy shape. But
it is an eco box, not an eco capsule.
Yeah.
But was the branding eco box already taken?
It's called only Box. But I'll forward it. Yeah. So these are the two products and basically two market segments. And the box, it's cheaper. It's not that designed super trooper.
Future looking, right?
Yeah. But it's more affordable and it's bigger. It's more comfortable. So you actually can live there. And it's also fully sustainable. So you have all these solar panels, water filtration, everything. You have fully equipped kitchen, restroom, bedroom, and the living part. So this is focused more on these young individuals.
Is there already a region where you're finding more success about this idea itself than others? Like, I don't know, maybe Europe, maybe the United States, even Asia? Or no, every region is like with the same level of interest?
Yeah, they are different. And the first generation of the egg-shaped EcoCapsule was sold into different countries, most of them into the US and the Americas. There are some in the Central and Central America and the Caribbean, and also in Japan on the other part of the world. And there are some in Europe as well. So I think the US and Japan were
Japan for me makes a lot of sense. They're already I don't even think we can call Japan as an enthusiast for capsule boxes or whatever. They are already into it. Like, it's already a part of their culture to have such things like this.
And actually, the company has the first, I would say, the distributor or the selling partner in Japan already set.
That's very nice.
Yeah, that's very natural from the cultural aspect.
And let me ask you this. Are they all, just out of curiosity, are they all fabricated in China and then they travel to Japan or the United States?
None of them. They all are fabricated in Europe.
That's actually nice. So interesting to know about it.
So it's really a local design and local production. The company plans to have US entity set up as well. And the future plan is also to have production there because they have different electricity standards and other certification criteria. So the next production also should be in US, but we really want to keep it in Europe, and let's see.
Whoever's paying and it's a fit with the product, it's a good to go.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, you said something that is also on the top of my mind, and I'm sorry for coming back to Portugal again, but it is the only place that I can relate to. I have read here about some families who have brought wooden-shaped boxed houses to put it in the farm sites, in countrysides, in places far away from Lisbon and Porto because of the housing crisis. But I also read it, and this is definitely a fault of the Portuguese government, but I also read about how some houses are not available for you to live in, meaning they don't allow you to live in certain eco capsules, for example. And again, mostly because of their lack of progress and maturity inside the digital world. My question to you would be, did you face some government restrictions in regards to where you can sell eco capsule, and this by itself was already a deal breaker for you?
Not yet. We haven't come into this issue, and mostly because of that, the clients who already bought our products, I think they solved this before we stepped into the process. So they came, look, I have this land, and many of them said, we already talked to the local authorities if we can put this thing here or not. So once we encountered this, that the person wanted to have small eco resort there, but it was in the place where it was like this vineyard area. was in a way protected, and they said no, you only can have one, you cannot have 10. So this can be also specific region to region.
Talking about these customers then, with the fact that they already approach you with a better understanding of how things are and how things would work, was there a surprising insight that you learned from them, from their behavior when it comes to the whole concept of EcoCapsule? Was there something that was like, wow, I never imagined they would think like this?
Okay, we came across different interesting ideas from the customers. At the end of the day, they all are very natural, and they said, yes, this is how it should be, because the customers are very clever, and day by day or year by year, they are getting even more clever, and they are working on the critical thinking. And you just cannot put something that this is green and think that they will just buy it for that. But you really need to prove that you really are green and self-sustainable. And maybe answering your question is that the clients or the customers, they don't only want the green product, but they are interested in the supply chain. If we are producing and if we are buying sustainable components, and if the whole product line from the total beginning is really fair. And
You're talking about Apple is one company that made sure to let their customers know about it, like everything's carbon free, or we will be carbon free by 2030, something like this. I imagine you're talking about, right?
Yeah. It's very hard to make this full process fully sustainable, and we are still working on it and trying to improve it every day as well, because this is where this customer orientation goes for the future.
And how, not even how, but what are you doing to educate such buyers before they even ask you? Like, on the website, do you talk about it, or do you have social media content about it, videos on YouTube, whatever? How is it that you're making sure that people understand how it all operates?
Fair question, and we need to be better in this. I think we are not communicating this enough.
Okay.
And it's really a good space to be better in this, in covering the social media and this communication, and also the behind the scenes, what's going on.
I see. Is there something in particular you would love to like deploy right now, marketing related, that you feel like should be priority number one once you're ready to, invest more time into it?
I think we should show the production process, how it's built.
That's actually very nice.
Everyone would think these boxes or capsules are made in China, as maybe your case was as well. But now we have really like the production here, and really looking into the details, and every detail thoughtfully and carefully designed and produced.
Perfect. Look, again, it's something very new, very much so. For a lot of people, they have no idea that this was a possibility at the first place, right? Not even talking about EcoCapsule as a whole, but the whole concept of buying a ready-made house, putting it in the middle of a field and starting living there. It's a thing that not a lot of people are used to. So I do understand what you're saying. The education part needs to be done, and very much so, because a lot of people still don't know that they can actually afford thing like this.
Yes.
Right. So it is. Go on, please.
When you talk about education, one of our ideas also is to educate people in terms of our behaviors and the consumption, because you have this self-sustainable housing. You make your own energy, you filter the water, but you also spend it. And we plan to create also like app or software which would track how much you're making, how much you're spending, how much water did I spend when I was showering last night, and how much energy did I spend when I was cooking. So also for these educational purposes. And we also want to cooperate with let's say special resorts where people go only just for vacation, and they can see how was my weekend, how was my environmental impact.
Not gonna lie, I would love having this in my house. I would love it. It's such a nice. We have apps for everything, and we don't have for the most important part of our lives, which is our house. So this is an amazing concept. Whenever I think about it, though, it brings me back to sci-fi. It brings me back to lunar stations, to houses where people can live in different planets outside of Earth. It's the first thing that comes to my mind, and this screams app and digital and software and connection and IoT. Even IoT is something that, I don't know, feels like faded away once AI became a thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you also feel like this? We were talking so much more about IoT before AI. Now that we have AI, we don't talk about it very much, which is strange. We should
Give me a different question.
Of course I will. I think right
I'm
now,
not very at home here, so.
don't worry. I think right now we can actually go and talk about you. Talk about Katarina. Talk about the fact that you are a business consultant, the fact that you are investing in different ideas, investing your time, investing your money, investing your willpower even. As we were saying before, this is only one life that we have, and we need to make the most out of it. Your experience spans across both tech and sustainable startups. Any important lessons that you learned about leadership in such companies, about how you should be growing such companies that we can talk about here?
Yeah, I think one of the most important leadership lesson is, from what I observed from different leaders in different companies, is there's a difference in the heart. That all the leaders, they have their ideas, they have the visions, but the intention is different. If I do this from the heart, I want to change the planet. I want to make something different. I want to make the world better. I think that's where the companies got real success, where they got successful. When, of course, you need to be profitable and you need to get the investors and have a good revenues and profitability, but the heart needs to be there. And if the money is the only driver, that I have this company because I just want to make money, it has very short distance vision.
It's not gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
So that
It's not
would
gonna
be, I
leave
think,
very
the
much.
most, the biggest lesson or observation I got from the leaders in this high tech.
Is there another red flag that you immediately spot on, or did you try to spot on whenever you're talking to founders, besides their hunger for money?
I think this was the biggest one.
Yeah, I imagine it's already such a big red flag by itself, right? It's already like, oh, okay, you're not into the eco part, you're into the money. The green that you
and
want to
you
see
only
is
are
not the
covering-
environment. I see. Well, coming back to Katarina as a business consultant, what are the frameworks that you like to deploy whenever you're starting into a early stage company? Do you already have I understand that every case is a case and you have to think and innovate and learn new things all the time, but in a more general way of speaking, is there like some projects and processes that you always like to work first when you start yourself into a new place?
I would turn it from a different side.
Please.
From my experience, before working for startups, I worked for global corporations.
Okay.
So I experienced a lot of well-designed processes and a lot of bureaucratic paperwork. But the processes served their purposes. And then I switched into these smaller companies, family-owned businesses or startups, high-tech companies, different kind of culture. And the third line, I would say, I also have background in psychology and neurobiological approaches. So I'm putting together these three areas when looking at the project. So I also work with mindset of the leaders, of the founders, which I think is one of the backbones of the success of the company as well. And then for the processes, they need to be, I try to balance between the efficiency and the flexibility, because in these starting companies, there is a strong pushback to a lot of paperwork and people don't see much of importance there. So in the framework, I think the balance is the most important. It needs to be efficient, flexible, and not impacting the workload of the people because they just want to focus on their projects. When you asked what would be the first, it was also one of the first challenges in the EcoCapsule, is to look at the company, and many times the company doesn't have any structure. Everything is just like this. So
bunch of Excel sheets, a bunch of Google Docs, not talking to each other in one folder here, one folder there.
Yes. So the first thing is to make just some structure there and start from there.
Nice, nice. Great to know. I'm a Virgo, not only in my moon sign, but in my sun's solar sign and in other ones. I'm not very much into it, but I learned a lot from a lot of people talking about it. And Virgos are organized. Virgos like to keep things organized, and especially in this entire digital era. So I relate very much to that. The first thing that I always like to do whenever I get into a new business is to find myself a Google Drive account, start working across the folders. This was before Notion. Now I'm still not a pro Notion guy, but I'm getting there. It's very nice having it all organized, right? So beautiful. When you finalize that homepage with all the information, it's a beautiful moment. I agree. It's a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I see you are enjoying it, yes.
Yes, I love it. I love it so much. Before we wrap this up, I do have one last question. And I think we can even bring back even more of your experience working with those corpos. Is there a common marketing trap that you see these eco startups and eco companies and green companies falling into? Something that they always, whenever they strive for the green side of things, they get it wrong.
Yeah, and I think we already mentioned it, that I would put this green stamp.
The money thing, yeah.
Not exactly, but I would put this green and sustainable stamp only on the product that it's really green and sustainable. You have a lot of products that say they are green, but they are not. You have these little letters that, you can live there, but only 2 days in a year when the sun is on, or only in Portugal because the weather is good. So I think this is the biggest trap that
This is a huge trap. I had no idea such things. It's awful to know that they even exist. That these, as you said, the small letters, they exist and they're not being communicated.
Yes.
Wow. Very, very, very interesting to know. Okay. Well, great to know that you're not doing it. I think this is the best takeaway that we can get from this. Okay, so perfect. We talked about EcoCapsule. We talked about how different markets react to it. We talked about your life, how you like to work, the red flags that you're always on the lookout. So I think my last question for this episode itself would be about you and the future. You learned so much already. You have seen so many different things, both on the good side and the bad side. And we are coming into an age where things are moving even quicker than they moved before. 2 years ago, I was talking to a marketing friend about it yesterday. 2 years ago, we didn't have accessible ChatGPT to ask stuff, to come up with content, to come up with ideas. We didn't, and now we have. I can't imagine how it'll be 2 years from now. But I would love to understand from you about what's next. What is it that you're looking for in the horizon that you feel like will be an amazing project for you? Or even something that you're expecting to change for the world itself? What is it that we can, tune in the future to talk about?
And you mentioned the AI. I'm actually using it
So
on a
much.
daily basis, really so much,
So much.
But recently I started to work for one very interesting project which works on creating the hydrogen vehicle vehicles. They
That's
try
actually
to
very nice.
change the transportation into the greener one. So I think this sustainability is coming into all areas of our life. We
That's
talked
great to
about
know.
housing. Now I work with a company that's transforming the transportation. Who knows what else will this life bring? And what we discussed, it's very precious. So we should,
Well, one thing that I know for sure,
Yeah.
one thing that I know for sure is no matter what company you'll be working for, the green background that you have will always stay on top, right?
Most probably, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I'm also very much into the psychological part of my work, which can be used not only in these green companies, but I am also working with investor-related segment or little companies. So it can be used in different aspects of business.
Great to know. Well, Katarina, thank you so much for sharing this really, I'm not going to say niche, but this really exclusive story that you just gave us. Okay, we're very lucky to have you here. Very lucky to understand about how it all is turning out to be. And I do hope that we can connect in the future to talk about what has changed since July 1st, which is today's date. Sounds good?
It would be very much interesting.
Great, great. For everyone who's still here with us, you're going to have all of Katarina's link down the description below. Don't forget to check it out. Follow EcoCapsule's website. Follow her on LinkedIn. If you are looking to get a business consultant as well, we just learned from her by herself that she's also available to help you even further. So take no time. Do go check the links below. And Katarina, for the last time, thank you for being here on the show. We wish you all the best. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.